did not know what a full stop is. And never a dull moment. And by the way, I know a lot of you folks don't like the vertical format. Unfortunately, my phone holder is kind of screwed up, and that's probably the best way for me to hold it without it falling. And, oh, yeah, run into the other truck. That's exciting. And all the stupids are out this morning. How exciting is that? Anyway, folks, for those of you who missed it, I was graciously invited to Prepper Now's channel yesterday, and got to spend some time with him, Hudson Valley Prepper Dog, and Modern Refugee, talking about a variety of subjects. And he had some great questions for the group. And it's the first time we've done this kind of panel. Hey, Loretta, good morning. It was the first time Prepper Now had done a panel like this, I think, in a very long time. And so it was a really good conversation. And one of the questions he threw our way, which I thought I'd like to expand on, because I think Prepper Now had an amazing question, is should people be getting ready now? Hey, Daryl, what's going on? Good morning. And truthfully, yeah, absolutely. I think if anything, the last 4 or 5 years should be an example of why. Hey, Redleg, what's going on? I might be in your neck of the woods in that part of Texas 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not sure. So if I am, I will holler again. I missed you. We missed each other last time. So I've been blessed that I've gotten to meet some other Texas YouTubers. It's just when you live in a state that going from like Tyler, Texas to El Paso on the highway, and assuming you don't stop at highway speeds will take you 18 hours. You live that big a state. It's really hard to meet up with people because, you know, we talk about distance in Texas in terms of hours, not miles. It's not like, oh, it's 100 miles here. No, it's 4 hours. Oh, I can do 4 hours in a day. You know, it doesn't even faze us. Whereas if you're in New York City and you drive 4 hours, you're like in Washington, D.C., like you're in a whole different place. And we never leave Texas. So, but it's tough because our schedules are really mixed matched. And I know near where Redleg is a guy named Rebel Intel on TikTok who's a former intelligence officer. And we've tried to get together, but like everyone was in different places. So we'll see if we can pull that off this year. That would be a fun live stream, actually, in person at a coffee shop. But in any case, folks, good morning to everybody. Hey, Tracy, what's going on? And Gerald, good morning. So right now is a great time for people to start prepping. I don't see why not. I think, hey, Rebecca Lynn, good morning. It's never too late to do a smart thing. Now, that being said, in our inflationary environment, in the economy we're in, things are more expensive than they were 4 or 5 years ago. Now, that's normal, right? People always say, oh, well, 10 years ago. Yeah, right. But it went up a lot in 4 years. Like this was a disproportional inflation. It's not like when we say, oh, well, you know, in 1994, bread was at 50 cents and now it's $1.50. That's a long period of time. You know, we're talking 4 years, and your F-150 has gone from 40 grand to 65, and nobody wants to buy a truck because it's insane. Hey, Sway, good morning. Hey, Dark Gaming, what's going on? So things have gotten more expensive. It doesn't mean you can't start preparing, and if you know someone who's interested but they're intimidated, Christmas is a great time to give someone a gift. And I'm not going to direct, oh, go to my links. I do have links, yeah, yada, yada. But go find something locally that's not expensive that would get someone started. You can get them a Ready Wise bucket, which are actually kind of expensive. But you can, oh, my phone just dropped. That was cool. Sorry about that. That was a weird phenomenon. That thing dropped and it screwed my eyes up. You can get someone a backpack, say, hey, here's a bag for you to keep in your car with emergency stuff. Buy someone a first aid kit if they're just starting. If you're just starting, you could do the same thing. Buy yourself a run-of-the-mill backpack and put some basics in it for your car. An extra jacket, extra pair of socks, maybe some old sneakers, toothbrush, toothpaste, some cash, and leave it in your trunk or under your seat in your SUV. And right there, what you've done is give yourself a little get-home bag. Now, if the zombies show up, that may not be sufficient, right? But that's not the point. Hey, Joy, good morning. The point is to, hey, Little Lone. The point is to take some time to fill those gaps. And if you're just starting, don't be afraid to do that. As a matter of fact, I have a Twitch channel, believe it or not, and I don't go on there very much because I disconnected. Somehow I screwed up my Battlefield account. Used to stream onto Twitch, and now it doesn't. I don't know what I did. But even the gamers that I've interacted with, I'm like, okay, well, think of the gaming world, some of the survival games. What are you looking for, right? If you've played, for instance, The Last of Us, what are they looking for, right? They're looking for first aid kits, ammunition, food, clothing, equipment that will help them get through the next zombie, right? Real life, other than the zombie part, same thing. You look at North Carolina. I mean, if you survive the flood and the landslide, food, water, cash, clothing, some kind of shelter if your house was damaged, all of these things make a difference. Hey, Niels, what's going on? So now's a good time as any to get started. Now, if you're already into preparedness or homesteading, which I kind of see them as hand in hand, me personally, I think if you can homestead and get mostly off the grid, that's kind of the evolution of preparedness. You go from being a prepper to being a homesteader where you're self-sufficient. Yes, Loretta, absolutely. And that's really good advice. I wish I could put that up on the screen. Don't get overwhelmed, right? And I've repeatedly said this. I put it in my book that I published earlier this year. Do like a threat matrix and say, okay, what could alien invaders from Mars attack me? Well, sure, hypothetically that's possible. What is the likelihood? Well, maybe 1%. Okay, now not high priority. But if you get someone who says, oh, hey, you know what? We get hurricanes every year in our area. Well, that would be something to prep for. Water, food, rain clothing, water boots, stuff like that. Prep for the things that are most likely to happen in your area. And indirectly, what you're going to wind up doing is prepping for other stuff that could happen, right? A first aid kit will work for, an accident at home. It'll work for a hurricane if someone gets hurt. It'll work for the zombie apocalypse if someone gets hurt. Unless they get bitten, then, they become a zombie, and that's a whole different problem. And I'm being silly here, but yeah, hey, good morning. It doesn't hurt to get some of your basics down. So if you're just starting, or you know someone who's starting, and you might have experience and you have your own way of doing things, and you've seen someone who now sees what's going on and goes, I really need to be ready. Well, it's Christmas time. Get them a first aid kit. Hey, this is for the house. That's a practical gift. Get them a good hiking backpack. Hey, it's for exercise, but you know what? This pack would be great in your car with emergency stuff. Okay, I can see that. Get someone a food saver. Actually, that was my Christmas gift to one of my Christmas gifts to my daughter-in-law right after she and my son got married and they got their first house. I got her a food saver. And we went to the grocery store and bought about $100 worth of different meats and cuts of chicken and fish. And we spent the whole afternoon, she and I and my son and my wife, well, actually, eventually became me and my son because the girls started drinking beer and basically seasoning and storing meat. I didn't realize at the time her mom is a homesteader who actually follows my channel. So she jumped in she showed up a month later and went, who food savored all this meat? And she's like, Mr. Pete did. And now I realize, now I've found other preppers and homesteaders, and now we collaborate on text whenever we get a chance. So you never know, by giving a gift like this, you could actually meet new people who are like-minded by accident, which is kind of funny. But my daughter-in-law was thrilled. She's like, this is great. And she said, I wonder if I can do pantry. And apparently she's been preserving flour and all sorts of stuff. A great gift. They're saving money. Mushrooms for medical. There's a lot of medical, I guess, herbology. I don't know if that's the proper term for it, that I think in modern medicine we've overlooked. And a lot of people hear things like, oh, mushroom or hemp, and they're like, oh, you're just getting stoned. But no, there's actually medicinal applications to a lot of natural herbs and things in nature that as a modern society we've forgotten. But yeah, months of med, like C4 says. A bleach jug, yeah, I stocked up on prescription meds. That's not a bad idea. Because think about it, if you have diabetes, whatever meds you may need, if you can order them through your insurance, 90 days is cheaper for insurance, and now you have 90 days, and usually they let you order when you're 30 days out for your next 90, so you always have that buffer if you keep on it. But now is a great time to top off. The prices have flattened. They haven't gone down, sadly, but they've kind of flattened out. Look also for things going on sale at the end of the year. Remember, the stores have to pay taxes on their inventory going from 2024 to 2025. They want inventory out. Now, you may not be obvious. It may not be like a ReadyWise or a camping stove, but you might find that really nice rain jacket on half off. You might find, hell, we had a gun store here was selling the Stag Arms AR-15s, buy one. No, they were 50% off, 40% off. So an $800 rifle was now $5 and change. And they went like hotcakes. They wiped them out in the first day. I know they were trying to clear that inventory, and they probably didn't make as much money as they wanted, but they did well. And if you were on top of it, you caught that deal, you did great too, because you got a quality firearm for half. It's important for everyone to look for those deals in the current economic environment. It's important to find the deals, even if it's just something generic like a backpack, a first aid kit, and you can find stuff on sale and make them into gifts. So for those of you who've been following me, you know my daughter and her fiance wound up moving to California. And he was in downtown San Francisco for a company meeting when the tsunami alerts went off. And he had bought an electric car because California gives you a tax break. So it was a money idea, which wasn't a bad idea. So he has a gas pickup truck and they have the electric sedan. And he took the electric sedan into the city. He's like, oh, I can just plug it in if I need. It's an hour-and-a-half commute for him, 2 hours, because he lives out in the country. He lives far away up in the hills. Well, long story short, when the alerts came out and I started getting corporate alerts because we have facilities out in California, I texted him. I'm like, hey, are you all right? Are you downtown? And he's like, I left when I saw the first alert and I felt the earthquake. I was gone. He said, I was already outside the city meeting a business partner for coffee. And he said the people downtown were texting me saying the whole building shook and the coffee and stuff fell out of the cabinets, scared the shit out of them. And he said, I was like, I'm not coming back to downtown. And he started going home. And he said, Mr. Pete, your voice was echoing in my head saying, keep your damn car charged if you're going to have an EV. He said the lines to charge were insane. He said, I can't explain it. As I'm leaving San Francisco, I asked someone, because he stopped to get a coffee, and he asked someone, how long is the line for charging your car? And she said 4 hours. And I said, buddy, in 10 minutes, the tsunami would have hit the city. if it was a legit big tsunami. And hey, KP. And he goes, yeah. I said, but you kept your car charged, didn't you? He said, yep. He said, I did. And I knew I had enough power to get home, plus some. I'm like, because you may not be able to go in a straight line. He's like, nope, I cannot. I may not be able to go in a straight line. So he heard me, and I said, do you have an emergency bag in your car? He's like, no, I lost it on the move, and I need to put together another. He calls it his emergency bag, his e-bag. It's a get-home bag. And I'm like, you need to make another e-bag. And he's like, yep. And he's a doctor too. I'm like, you need to put a legit medical kit. So my Christmas gift to him this year may well be a field surgical kit. I mean, he's an oncologist. He's done surgery. I know he's done surgery because he's stitched up family members when we've gotten hurt, because we were being stupid and someone fell down and opened themselves up. Wasn't me, for the record. I've had my fair share of stitches. I don't need any more. But yeah, I know he can stitch. And I'm like, you may want to consider having a full-blown emergency pack. But yeah, I'm glad he listened, Sway. Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I hang out with engineers, geologists, scientists, MBAs all the time. And by far, he's got to be one of the most intelligent human beings I've met. And he grew up poor and became a doctor. So, like, he went through the hard knocks before he got the education. So he has that pragmatic skill as well as the educated, more refined knowledge, which is a good combination of things to have. He actually was a volunteer firefighter at one point. So, this is good skill sets. And he's like, man, he said, every time I talk to you, I learn something. And then something happens and I'm like, shit, he warned me about this. And I talked to my daughter after and she laughed. She's like, yeah, he was saying, your dad was right. Holy shit, I really need to repack my gear. But you know what? That's a good opportunity for me to go, hey guys, guess what? Here's your Christmas gift. It's your, first aid kit for your cars. That's a legit gift. Hopefully they never need it, but God forbid they do, they have it. So not only should we be ready and try to upgrade our readiness, hey Canadian, but also you can give a gift during the holiday season that might get someone thinking, wow, you know what? It's a good idea to have that first aid kit in my car. It's a good idea to have, a hydration pack when I go to the park, so in case I get lost, I have water. I got to tell you, Big Bend State Park in Texas is right on the border. It's in the Rio Grande Valley, and the sides look like the Grand Canyon. It's not as high as the Grand Canyon, but it's about 70 foot. You lose cell reception if you have a sat phone. You have to actually get in the middle of the river or you get no signal. It's like that kind of canyon. And we've had more people. Let's put it this way. Besides Yellowstone, the most fatal park in America is Big Bend in Texas. And they die from dehydration, animals, snakes. Well, snakes is animals. Large animals, snakes, but mainly dehydration and heat. They just get heat exposure and they die. And falls. They fall off the canyon. And people die there every year. And every story I hear, they had no equipment. Oh, they went with a water bottle for a hike, got lost, and 2 days later, they find them dead. Why? Unnecessary. Get the $20 backpack, fill it with some bottled water, some food, walkie-talkie even, an FRS radio, and a charging thing for your phone. Right? You get on a hill, you might get reception. At the very least, you have some tools to get through. I get stupid looks until they have to use it. So, Dan, that is when they learn. When I first got married, I put a fire extinguisher in the garage and one in the kitchen. And my wife's like, why do we have a fire extinguisher here? I still pick on her about this. And I'm like, in case there's a kitchen fire. That's stupid. Nobody needs it. I shit you not. 3 days later, I'm driving to a work site in the middle of nowhere, and I get a call on my sat phone. Where the fuck's the fire extinguisher? Under the sink. Oh, okay. I said, just pull the ring. She's like, I got it. And I hear, psh, and then it's silence. I'm like, you're all right? She goes, ugh. I just fucked up the kitchen. Okay, thank you. Click. So I get home 4 days later from that assignment. I'm like, what the hell happened? Hey, conserve. And she goes, I butt check, like she booty hit a frying pan that had oil in it. It went into the fire and she caught everything on fire. And she knew not to put water on it, but she tried to cover it with the lid, burned her hand, dropped the lid in the oil, and then splashed more onto the counter. So she had to spray everything. I'm like, but you put it out. She's like, yeah, it took me about an hour to clean all the powder and everything. And since then, we now have one in the garage, one in the kitchen, one in the pantry, one in the guest room, and one in the master bedroom. And if you're wondering why the master bedroom is, somebody, a firefighter friend of mine told me, keep a fire extinguisher in the bedroom. And of course, my immediate joke was, oh, I got things hot in the bedroom. And he goes, no, if your house catches fire and your kids are across the house, you don't want to walk through fire. Jesus can walk through that stuff. You can't. But if you can get that fire extinguisher, you can make a path to those kids or your dogs or whoever and get them out. And it just has to last long enough for you to get to the person or animal you love and get them out. Fuck the house. Get the kids out. Get the animals out. Since then, I have an ABC extinguisher in the bedroom. There's no eggnog to be found at my... Hey, Carl. Good to see you. Local Walmart. Go to the liquor store. I know that sounds funny. Go to the liquor store and tell them you want the non-alcoholic eggnog because they've been stocking them there so you can mix it with like Kahlua and get yourself pie-eyed for Christmas. So check the alcohol, the booze stores. I don't know if you guys... In Texas, we have to have liquor stores. Wine and beer can be bought in the groceries, but anything else has to be at the liquor store. In Louisiana, you could get everything at Kent Quick. Like you could go to the corner store and get rum, vodka, beer, whatever. But yeah, eggnog, I've been seeing it at the liquor stores because I've been buying wine because I have family coming over, and booze. And I've been seeing the little containers of eggnog, but they cost a little more. But pressurized water is not a bad idea. Just remember, not for oil, and definitely not for electric either. But in any case, folks, so look, now's a great time. Watch the prices. I'm seeing things go on sale, but it's been very erratic. It's not like last year when all the outdoor gear went on sale and all the camping gear went on sale all at once. It's been all over the map, and I think the stores, because of the inflation, the stores are screwed up and they don't know what to stock, and so they're stocking the wrong things. So again, AR-15s for half off, and they were stag arms with the Magpul hardware, and this $800 rifle was going for $400, $500. That's a hell of a deal. I didn't get one. I showed up a little late to the show, and that's just a really oddball example, but there's a lot of stuff going on sale, but it's very erratic. So don't be afraid to just go to the store and walk around. I like to go during lunch hour in the middle of the week when nobody's there and just walk around and see what's on sale, because I don't have people screaming, kids and shit. And my wife already cart checks other people's children. I don't need to go there and hit someone's kid with a Nerf ball. So like drill him like my son did one day, got himself kicked out of Walmart. Look for those sales. And then, thank you, Conserve. Look for those sales, and also consider using those sales as a gift for someone who really needs to start prepping and they may not fully be committed, because there's kind of a stigma with, oh, you're a prepper, tinfoil hat. And it's like, no, I'm a prepper, earthquake. Oh, you're a prepper, aliens. No, not aliens, hurricane. Like, look at the shit that's happened. It's real. It's in the news. It happened to people. People died. That's why you prep. Not the 1% likely stuff, the 90% likely stuff. That's what you got to get ready for. And remember, an SHTF could be something as simple as I got in a car accident and I broke my leg and I can't work for 2 weeks. You're going to lose money, but you have food at home. You don't have to go out to buy things. That takes a lot of pressure off the family. So now you can focus on getting well because you don't have to keep running to the store. So folks, be good, be safe, and with melee weapons. I don't know, I missed the conversation of melee weapons. I have my dad's cane machete that he bought in 1958. The thing weighs 2 pounds, and the blade is a 1/4 inch thick. I've never seen a blade like that since. I could hit a modern machete with that one, like cross blades, and break the other machetes. I do got to get it cleaned up, and I got to get it sharpened, and I need a new handle because Dad was cheap and he duct taped the handle when it broke. So, but anyway, folks, look, you guys, no, guy that comments, I love that name, by the way. Yeah, and then they're calling you crazy. I've had that happen. I've had family members who are like, you're being paranoid, and then Hurricane Harvey hit. We had 4 feet of water in streets, and the better streets had 2 feet of water, and they're like, well, you need to come get us. I'm like, I can't. I'm not going to go drive through floodwaters. I can't see what's in the road, and I'm going to wind up in a bayou, or I'm going to blow out both my front tires on something because you didn't get ready, even though I told you to. You know, SOL. So, oh, nondescript. You're doing the old militant fencing type stuff. You know, they just offered a class at the local college on that. See, now I'm wondering if I should take that. That would be cool. Just for the experience, much less the skill. By the way, baseball bat, also good melee weapon, just saying. But anyway, folks, look, you guys be good, be safe. Hey, I didn't say that right, sorry. You guys be safe, be careful out there. Yeah, they do love the paranoid people when they go wrong. And are we being paranoid, or are we just seeing things for what they are? And they're just doing la 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 la. You never know. Anyway, folks, I do. Oh, see, that's cool. If you put videos out, tag me on them. I'd love to see that. Anyway, folks, look, you guys be good, be safe out there. Save money. Look, I got links in my bio, yeah, whatever. If you find something that's a better deal for you in your situation, don't use my damn links. Go get the better deal. I grew up a poor blue-collar kid. Yeah, hell yeah. Save that money. All right? Do that. And don't sweat. You know, a lot of folks, yeah, hey, if you're going to buy that anyway and you want to support me or Vision or Mike or Prepper Now or whoever, that's great. But save that money for yourself. Okay? We're going to be okay. Save that money for you, and then if you can give a gift and get someone started on this journey, not a bad idea. Anyway, you guys be good, be safe, God bless. I will see you all later on.